Hi, good morning, everyone. Welcome to all participants who have joined us today for this webinar, How to Create Product Strategy. Myself, Pallavi from Novel Vista, and I'm your moderator and host for this webinar today. I hope my voice is clear. I'm able to, able to make you listen for this webinar. Until my voice is clear. Hello, Senthil, am I audible now?
Yeah, Pallavi, I can hear you.
Great. Okay. So, people moving ahead, I would like to introduce Novel Vista. We are one of the largest training organization
Yes,
with
Pallavi,
huge portfolio of more than 2000 plus courses
I
and
can
team
hear
of
you
300
clearly.
plus trainers who are associated with us. Yes, Senthil? Senthil, can you hear me?
Go ahead, Pallavi.
Okay.
Yeah, I can hear you clearly.
So, okay, so people, it's been a long time. We are in this knowledge sharing activities, and you also have attend number of webinars with us, and where we introduce our industry speakers to our participants who deliver such great sessions for us. So we are going to continue this webinar activity throughout for month of May and June, and I really like to thank all the participants who are showing us good result through this webinar in this tough and uncertain time of COVID-19. Your timing and learning enthusiasm is really great. We would like to see you for rest of our webinars, and looking forward to have your attendance throughout this webinar series. To get the update for the notification for our webinars, you can simply WhatsApp on this message, and we'll be getting all the updates and notification for our future webinar as well. Moving ahead to introduce our speaker today, I would like to introduce our speaker of this webinar, Senthil Basua Raj, as is the product manager for Allstate. Senthil is carrying total 15 years of experience of industry and the product strategy, discovery, UX, product design, engineering, and delivery. Right now, Senthil at Allstate, he works as a practice captain in Composite Lab and responsible for practicing product management and strategy, enabling learning culture, problem solving, and product innovation. He's managing multiple product teams in the lab and helps them to build successful products. He's also helps to startup companies and product teams to innovate and create value for their users. In today's webinar, Senthil is going to discuss and guide us on creating product strategy, components of product strategy, leveraging the strength and awareness of weakness. Is your product strategy is good enough? He's going to explain on that, and how the product strategy in the large organization. So I would like to request Senthil to begin this presentation with all his experience to share with our audience.
Pallavi, can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Okay, great. Shall I go ahead and share my screen?
Yes, you can.
Yeah. Okay, good morning, everyone. I'm Senthil here. So welcome to this webinar, How to Create Product Strategy. So hope, I think it's Monday morning. Hope everyone is kind of fresh today morning. So how to create product strategy, I think it's very simple as it is. Probably you might be doing on a daily basis, but you may not know whether that is really a strategy or not. So that's the one thing, we need to really know about it. Okay, because strategy exists everywhere. So strategy is something happens day in and day out. Okay, so for me, even it happens every day. For example, I need to prepare my day. I have some plans, for me to complete in a day, right? So I need to plan my things better, and I need to look at what are the things that is available for me to accomplish, whatever I'm planning for. So obviously, I do a lot of things out there. So that is somewhere, it's a kind of strategy, right? So I know certain things, and accordingly, I play my plan. So that is all about strategy, right? So there are many other things that happens. You might be hearing about business strategy, finance strategy, marketing strategy. So there are so many things like this, right? So whenever you have come some vision, that you're looking at it, then you need to know how are you going to reach there. So that how part is something is going to be derived by the strategy. Okay, so to before moving into this, just a quick background about myself. I think already Pallavi spoke about myself. So my core area is all about product management. I help product teams here, daily basis, on their product development life cycle and their product strategy and things like that. And also, I help startups, for their product strategy. That is something so interesting most of the time comparative to enterprises. But still, enterprises have even bigger picture that is so complex even to work on it. So for today's context, I might be, sharing or discussing about software products as a more context. And also, speaking about enterprises and startups, how product strategy happens in both these environments, because they are totally different, right? So this is the context for us to understand differently. Okay, so now to start with, what is a strategy? So in generic, right? So strategy is all about playing this maze game. Okay, so you all know about maze game. So maze game, it has some start and it has some end, and there are a lot of challenges in between, a lot of hurdles, a lot of turns, and how do you reach there, right at the end? So it's all about it. So that is all about strategy. So with respect to strategy, finding the best possible path, right? So when you play this maze game, how do you efficiently move from start to end? Um, Finding that best possible path, right? So that is all about that strategy. Okay, and then making right choices. So when you play this game, so there are a lot of turns that is available, or that is seen now and then. So it is available immediately, when you solve certain things. So making right choices at every turn and junctions and things like that. Obviously, when you have multiple choices, you need to take the right choice, right? So it is very important that choosing the right choice. Similarly, ignoring the choices also is very important. So it's not just about choosing the right ones. Similarly, ignoring also is very much important. So making right choices in this maze game is going to lead you to the end as soon as possible. So some wrong decisions may take you somewhere else, right? So making right choices is very important. And this is kind of dynamic. So maze game is kind of dynamic throughout the journey, which means in general world, or in practical world, what happens whenever we are looking to move towards the end, the environment is not going to be the same. So it's going to change, right? For example, if you're traveling from Chennai to Bangalore, so there are a lot of turns and environmental changes. There are a lot of tolls and things like that comes up. So there are a lot of dynamic things that happens in between. So it is just in a generic travel perspective, but again, the travel, in the product world also, when you try to execute any product development, there is going to be a lot of challenges, which means that journey is going to be very dynamic. So you need to be really prepared, and strategy is going to help you to do that. That's all about it. And the next thing is about playing within the boundary. this is again amazing thing, when you look at this maze game. So maze game is not so vast, it has boundaries, right? So which means that when you look at the product world, the resources are limited, right? Resources are kind of boundaries. So you don't have anything called unlimited resources. It's for Google, Facebook as well. They have boundaries. They cannot have unlimited boundaries because they are so big and they have a lot of resources. That doesn't mean that. So anything to play with, you have to play within the resources that you have. So in enterprise context also, you have a team for your product development or product execution. So you need to play with that. You cannot ask for I need 100 developers, I need 50 UX designers and things like that. You cannot ask. So you need to play within the boundary. If you need to play within the boundary, which means you need to have a strategy. You need to know how to leverage the resources that are available within the boundary. So strategy is something like a maze game. So that's the kind of idea that I'd like to share with you guys. So when you call out strategy, it is just a mindset. You don't need to really think. Strategy is a kind of buzzing word, or it's a kind of complex word when people speak about it, or when people share it. I have a strategy, which means that it is not so complex to understand. It is just a common sense, right? And also, and it is a mindset. When I say mindset, which means today also you are creating strategy, but you don't have that conscious thought that you will be able to leverage certain things and then create a strategy. You might be taking the decisions based on the situations, based on the data that you have. But when you have the conscious strategy creation, which means when you will start having more data for you to take right decisions. Okay, so it's a mindset for you to learn. So you are already doing the strategy. You don't need to worry about this is something I haven't done it. Okay, so let's move on to the product strategy. Why and what. Okay, so when I say why product strategy is required, so the first four boxes at the top speaks about why we need the product strategy. So product strategy is something required to gain focus. So if you're traveling, as I spoke about, from Chennai to Bangalore, you should know what is the route you're going to take through, and you are going to plan in upfront, right? How are you going to travel, and what are the things that's going to come up, in terms of restaurants, or in terms of um, petrol or diesel needs. So all these things are going to plan, right? And you need a strategy before that, how you can easily reach Bangalore, from Chennai, and you will plan a lot about it, and you will know certain resources to be planned. For example, reaching Chennai to Bangalore is very easy, but how efficiently you can reach. You can travel by train, or you can travel by flight, or you can travel by car. You have a lot of choices, right? But the focus is all about reaching Bangalore. So you're going to take decisions based on the resources that you have. So if you are well rich, if you're able to take a flight, obviously you can take a flight, right? But if you have limited choices, again, you cannot spend much money, obviously you can take a train, right? So those are sort of things, but still you focus on the vision, where what is your target. So in real time, the product world, one example is about the Google Plus. Google Plus, hope you are all aware about it. So Google Plus is a product which has got failed, right? So after multiple attempts, it was kind of failing. It's just because the vision of the product Google Plus was not right. Google Plus was trying to compete with Facebook. So that's the one biggest challenge Google Plus had. So they were looking at different features, looking at how Facebook was kind of pulling that social media. So Google Plus was trying to imitate Facebook, and they were not having any vision where they are really going to. So that's a challenge, with Google Plus, and it got failed. So if you need to really move on and hello guys, can you hear me? Can you raise your hands if you are able to hear me?
Yes, until we can hear you now.
Okay, great,
Hello.
thanks.
Yeah, yeah, great.
Sorry guys, there was some internet fluctuations, it got disconnected.
It's okay, Senthil. We all are working home.
Hope
Everyone
you're
can
able to see my
understand.
screen also.
Yes, we can.
Okay, great, thanks. Okay, so I was speaking about the best possible path, right? Um, so when you really look at the product strategy, you need to have the best possible path. You cannot take any route that you can go through, right? So you need to have the best efficient way of moving towards the vision. So from that context, the best possible path is kind of required. So the example is the WhatsApp, right? So WhatsApp is a very simple product, right? So it doesn't have anything jazzy about it. It just has the basic need of messaging. Obviously, they added few things, but still, it just focuses on, their vision. Plus, they are taking the very simple route, the efficient way of, pulling people towards the product. So they have billion users today. Um, Without making money, obviously, without spending a lot of money, and they are kind of having a very very huge product, right? So though they had a lot of options or a lot of choices for them to make money, in terms of marketing or putting ads and things like that, but still they didn't do it. So those are kind of conscious strategy, decisions that helps them to travel towards the best possible path. So if you need to really have that best possible path, you need to have that product strategy. That's why I called it in the why part. And the third part is all about using sources of power. Okay, so when I say sources of power, every organization will have its own power, its own advantages, right? So when you have a product strategy, you need to look at those sources of powers. For example, there are, again, sources of powers is kind of technique actually. So leverage itself is one technique, right? So when you have certain advantages in your organizations, you need to leverage it, right? Similarly, there will be something called proximate objectives. Okay, so you can, I'm just throwing these words. Probably you can go back and look at these techniques. So proximate objective is another good technique that is available for anyone, to create a product strategy. Okay, similarly, there is something called inertia and entropy. Okay, and leveraging advantages. So those are some of the techniques available, where you can leverage the power of it. One example could be that, I know one of the startup who was building a B2B product. So they had one or couple of UX designers who are really good at it. They are really good at it, which means they will be able to change the travel that they are taking through. So they leveraged that UX design, the product and all about the idea. They're all kind of existing. They are not kind of differentiating at all. So there are a lot of competitors exist for that particular startup, but still they were kind of winning because they were leveraging the UX designers they had, and they really created a good differentiation on the user experience part of that product, and that product was selling more at the later point. So those sort of leveraging certain things is very much important. So you need to look at your context in your environment. If you're working in enterprise, there will be some advantages, so that you will be able to leverage it. So using sources of power is all about that. And next thing is about more options. More options is very much important when you create a product strategy, or product strategy is going to help you to have more options. The context is that is the only way you will be able to pivot when there are certain challenges. When you have other options, you will be able to look at it. One good example that happens right now is the COVID situation, right? So we are all in the COVID situation now. So there are many businesses, kind of struggling right now. There are many products, that's kind of struggling right now. How quickly, they can pivot to some other, way of selling it, or some other way of creating or utilizing the environment, is all about to happen when you have more options. So you need to really have that the second route. When I said the best possible path, that is the ideal path that you need to take to gain the maximum efficiency. But still, you should have the alternate paths also, so that you will be able to reach there when you have challenges with the ideal path that you're looking at. So more options is very much important. So we look at the end, I have some information about how different businesses are moving towards the other ideas, leveraging their existing strengths and building the products at this current situation. So more options is very much important. So the next part is about the what. So what it is, what product strategy contains, right? So these are the three essential things any product, any strategy, even it's not just product strategy, any strategy, if you call out, even if you're able to create a business strategy or you wanted to create your personal strategy, you need to look at these three things. One is the diagnosis, and second thing is about guiding policy, and third thing about coherent actions. So diagnosis, when I call it, you are in the environment right now and you know the vision where you are going. So the biggest thing about diagnosis is that you need to really look at the different perspectives of the environment that you are today. You will need to collect a lot of data, for you to create that best possible path, which I was speaking about earlier. Okay, so the diagnosis is very much important, and you need to collect a lot of data, tons of data, for you to really make right decisions. So guiding policy is the next about the approach that you take, right? So when you have the data, you will be able to really find out the approaches. When you have some data which speaks about, you will be able to build certain features without any finance, or requirements, or without any resources, for example. So your guiding policy, the approach is all about, how do you leverage certain things and move on. And the coherent action, right? So coherent action is all about, how the flow of action happens. When you say strategy, it's not one set of action or one action, that's going to move from point A to point B. It's going to be like, set of actions from when you look at this maze, right? So start to end. So there is a lot of ways to travel, uh, but you need to have that complete flow of actions, throughout the journey, so that you will be able to move on. If you're going to miss that, it's going to be a challenge. So these three things are very much important, for you to create a strategy. Okay, so I'll move on to the next slide, which speaks about an example. So I was just creating product strategy for this e-commerce portal. So I think everyone is aware of this particular uh, business, right? So e-commerce portal. So we all buy things from Flipkart, Amazon, and things like that. So let's assume today we are going to create a product strategy or business strategy for e-commerce portal. Okay, so that's the idea, that I was looking at it. So before getting into the details, if we look at the top, you see where it all starts. It starts with a vision. So for me, when I'm creating a e-commerce portal, my vision is all about e-commerce portal for electronic products. Okay, so I'm creating an e-commerce portal. I'm looking to sell electronic products and for certain niche, target segment. Okay, I know this particular target segment is, buying electronic products online, and I will be able to leverage them. That's just the idea about it. I'm looking for that. So I'm creating products to look at that vision. So what is that, the business strategy I have? When I say the vision, vision is kind of broader statement, but still I need to look at, how I'm going to achieve that vision. So I'm going to create a e-commerce portal, but what I'm going to sell and what is my strategy, what is my differentiation, is all that, it's happening here. So once from the vision, you will be creating a business strategy. For example, here we are looking at sell exclusive new products. I think if you looked at it, Flipkart, right? So Flipkart always does this strategy or has this strategy called selling exclusive, mobile phones for first few days and things like that, right? Because they are again leveraging their users, because they have lakhs and lakhs of users. So they will be able to exclusively sell to those users. So from that context, that strategy is really very good. So that's one of the business strategy that Flipkart uses it. And the second thing which I was speaking about is sell refurbished, right? So for me, looking at my vision, so I'm looking at to sell electronic products. So it is very much easy for me to sell refurbished products. So that's again bigger market. I see that it's again having X billion-dollar market. So I'm selling that as strategy. And third thing is about P2P marketplace. So this is another differentiation that I'm looking at in my product, okay, which is like peer-to-peer marketplace, where one peer can sell a mobile phone to another peer. For example, it's a kind of competition to Quikr or OLX, where these or any sort of products getting sold. But this is kind of exclusive. So these are some sort of business strategy which I'm thinking that they are differentiating. So that is a business strategy. Now when it comes to product strategy. And the context here is that I'm creating business and product strategy, and I'm the business sponsor. Okay, so I am responsible to create the product strategy at very high level, not at the detail part of at any product level, but at least this is at the business strategy, and how that is going to be converted into different products, right? So that is the kind of strategy that I was looking at here. So when I say product strategy, I need to have e-commerce portal, obviously, and I need to have some product where I can manage, refurbished products. So that is one another product that I'm looking at it, because they are kind of niche. I need to maintain something differently. So P2P marketplace, it's a kind of new concept in the e-commerce area. So P2P marketplace is another bigger product area that I'm thinking about. Other things are looking like delivery. If I need to really make sense or make differentiation in my delivery, I'm looking at a new product area called delivery itself. And then another bigger area is the digital marketing. So when I have these vision of electronic products through my e-commerce portal, so my digital marketing has to be really strong enough to make sure I'm able to sell it, competing Flipkart and Amazon's. So that is something I'm looking at. So these are different product strategy, but it's all about from the business sponsor perspective, right? And then I'll be creating product roadmap. Probably I may not be creating, but product manager, if there is a product manager assigned to e-commerce portal, he will be creating the product roadmap, again in consultation with business sponsor, which is myself here. So this is just an example to show you how the flow of the strategy happens, and how the flow of the different the decisions that is happening. Okay, so now we will get into one product, for example, the e-commerce portal, right? So that is one product, and for example, if someone of you being a product manager, and what you will do, right? So this is one you know uh, place where you will take a lot of decisions, right? So strategy is all about decisions, which we spoke about earlier, right? So what we are trying to create, we are trying to create product strategy, and who is kind of accountable or responsible for the product manager or the product owner, depends on different environments that we are working on. So he is going to be the responsible or accountable person, and consulted or informed people are like the business sponsor, the procurement manager, delivery manager, engineering manager, all these guys who are involved in that the complete flow of the process, right? So everyone will be involved in that, or they will be need to be consulted. So now as a product manager, you are going to take a lot of decisions. One decision is all about, okay, you are going to build e-commerce portal, but do you really need to build everything from ground? Do you need to really build the custom e-commerce portal? Because there are so many products available in the market for you to quickly up and run with any e-commerce store, for example a Shopify portal. So the decision right now, it needs to start. So as a product manager, you're going to take decisions. On what basis you are going to take decision is all that question that comes up now. So which we are going to look at in the next slides, where what are the things that you will need to consider when you take decisions, right? So there are so many decisions that you're going to take. For example, here the range pricing or the direct pricing, the custom homepage UI or the leverage existing themes. So all these things are very much important when you take the decisions. So strategy is going to tell you what decisions you are going to take. especially when you're looking at building the custom e-commerce portal or Shopify portal. Why do you really need to have a custom portal? Probably if you have resources, okay, you can sit and build something that can happen, but still as we spoke, the resources are limited, and which includes the time also, right? So you cannot really take time. So building something from the ground is going to take a lot of time. So you need to take the right decisions here. So leveraging Shopify, is that going to be really effective for you to play whatever you are looking for? Then it's better to go by that. So now we look at how to create the product strategy. Okay. So far we have seen different things, some examples, the different parts of the product strategy. So this is one place where you can understand what are the factors that you will need to consider when you create a product strategy. This is in context with the software product, but you can look at if you're creating any other products, even hardware product or any sort of different other products, you should be able to leverage these things. So some examples are like the technology, the business model, user experience, and things like that, right? So technology, if you look at it, one good example is that right now you are seeing a lot of electric vehicles, right? So you are seeing electric two-wheelers and four-wheelers and things like that, because today we have a technology of electric vehicles. So it's very much important. So if you're looking to build some vehicle, some product, okay, since you have the technology, you will be able to leverage and move on, right? So you're going to take the decisions based on the technology that is available. One bad example about technology is also again from Google, which is Google specs that was coming out, right? So it was kind of Google Glass, right? So Google Glass is a kind of advanced technology, right? But it was not fitting into the context or the time period that we are living today. So though we have the technology, but still the product is not fit into the environment that we are living today, or it's not resolving the purpose of the customer or the user. So obviously when you have technology, you cannot do or you cannot obviously leverage and move on, but the context should be kind of connected. So then you will be able to leverage and then utilize it. So similarly the business models, there are a lot of interesting business models people have come up with, um, especially this ride sharing business models is so at least 10 years back we didn't had all these sort of ride sharing or Ola or Uber sort of business models, right? Today we have all such things. So user experience is one another factor you may need to look at when you really create a product strategy. Is that going to change? As I said, the startup which I was referring to, right? So user experience itself is a factor for them. So they were their product strategy is all about creating the best user experience for their users, right? So they were living with the users. That's the kind of experiments they did. So they were kind of living in their environments. They were meeting day in and day out what they are doing, how they are doing. They understood a lot of things. So their user experience was so awesome, and they killed the best product in the market also. Okay, so I don't want to name that here, but still that was interesting thing that I want to share about it. So similarly the competitors, right? So competitors is again important thing for you to consider when you create a product strategy. You need to look at what they are doing, for example, okay, and also how they are doing it. So if they are doing, for example, they have steps like X, Y, Z, and if you are able to do it with X and Y and you remove Z, which means you are creating efficiency, right? I think that's what Toyota has been doing in their cars. They were creating the best possible way of assembling Toyota cars. So they were kind of avoiding the downtimes and the assembly downtimes, which was very competitive compared to others. So they were kind of winning the market. So when you have the product, look at the competitors, what they are doing, how they are doing, but don't imitate it. But look at how you can differentiate and how you can do better than them. So that is what, a factor that you need to look at from the competitors. Similarly, the compliance is another bigger area. Okay, so I think many a times compliance, or even you call it ecosystem and compliance are relative. For example, the Paytm, right? Paytm was leveraging the ecosystem changes in 2017 when there was the demonetization happening, right? Until then, they had the technology, they were helping people to do mobile transfer, right? But when demonetization came in, which is a kind of ecosystem change, right? They were leveraging that, they were leveraging it, and their user base kind of growing from um, 50 million to somewhere around 400 million. So that's very huge, when you are looking at to leverage the ecosystem changes. So you need to be conscious, when you create the strategy, you need to know what is the ecosystem that you are playing it, what are the legal things that you need to take care, and how you can leverage also sometimes, like Paytm did. Even now, actually, the ecosystem that we are playing, the COVID situations, right? There is an ecosystem change. People are not going out, people wanted everything in their home, and how you can still do business in this situation. Is that all the product strategy is going to be useful? So from the factors perspective, this is very limited list. Okay, I don't want, I mean, again, there could be an exhaustive list, but this is very limited list, which will help you to look at from different angles, and probably if you call it dimensions also, you can call it out. So these are some factors. Now, looking at the journey, right? So for example, if you're going to create a product strategy for your product, okay, what do you do as a next step after this webinar? You go back, and then what do you do next? Is that all it's coming up? So once you go back, okay, identify the key stakeholders, because you alone cannot create. The problem statement of the product that you're creating it. All these things are good, but you need to know who are the key stakeholders, who are all involved. Probably if you're building a product like e-commerce portal, right? You need to know how the delivery is going to happen, you need to know how the payment is going to happen. So it's a bigger area, right? So you need to connect all these people and see how you can create a product strategy. So if you look at the Flipkart, right? So Flipkart strategy of COD, cash on delivery, that's a unique thing that has happened within Flipkart, because I think Flipkart has come up with that concept of COD, considering the Indian mindset, right? So Indian mindset, or the environment itself was not having it, because Indians does not have cards like debit cards, credit cards, at least in 2014, 13 and all, the kind of spread was very less. But Flipkart, was kind of bringing up unique things, considering the users. But this was the kind of information that was coming from a, delivery person, because a delivery person knows what is happening at the ground, right? Someone sitting in an office will not know what is really happening on the ground. So considering, or including all the stakeholders in the value chain is very important. So the next thing is about collect input. Okay, so if you are solving some problem, you need to collect a lot of inputs, lot of data related to what you are working on. So with wide range of people with a variety of perspectives, that's very much important. So you need to collect input. So then you need to do like pay attention to what others are doing, which we already spoke about competitors, right? If you are trying to solve a problem which is already solved in the market, but still you are looking at an opportunity there, then you need to look at how different they are doing it. What is that major difference, or what is that major value they are bringing in? So sometimes users might be using some products because of no other choices. You will be able to really fill that gap, right? So you need to really look at the, or you need to pay attention to what others are doing it. And next thing is about communicating your development, I mean your product strategy frequently with the stakeholders. That is another good thing that you can do it for frequent feedbacks, and to understand what is happening around the world. So that is very much important. So you need to communicate things frequently with stakeholders. And another good thing is that you need to tell a good story, how things are happening. how you're resolving the problem for a user, and how it's kind of connecting with the strategy. If you're able to connect the strategy and the problem that you're solving and how it flows through the entire value chain, then it makes inspiration you know uh, to everyone who is in that the flow chain. So they will be inspired to do as they wanted. And then the last one is all about shift focus from strategy to execution. So once you have the strategy, considering all the factors and consulting with different people and with a lot of information that you have collected, now you will be able to take some decision, right? So you will have the common understanding, and you will be able to take some decisions out of it. Now you'll have a strategy how to flow. So now you should be able to see how you can move to the execution space. Okay, so this is something you can look at once you go back and try out. Okay, so this is some tools or canvases that are available to do the above activities which we discussed. So some are things like SWOT analysis. SWOT analysis is very much important when you create a strategy. So what is, as I spoke about, the leveraging the resources. So what you are good at today, which means your strength, right? You need to leverage that. And what you're bad at, your weakness, you may need to really see how you can move out of that space, right? um, Also you need to look at opportunities and threats that you have. So when you do this particular exercise like SWOT analysis, you will be able to again take a better decision, and again be able to create a better strategy. Okay. Similarly, business model canvas is another good tool or canvas, which is going to help you to collect more inputs. I think it speaks about the customer segments, the key activities you do, the value propositions, how are you going to make money, what is the cost involved. There are a lot of information that is available in this canvas, so you should be able to leverage business model canvas to collect more information. So other thing is about the 2x2 prioritization. This is another good prioritization thing, because you are going to take a lot of choices now. You will have your bucket, like hundreds of things in your bucket, but considering your limited resources, how are you going to prioritize it? So this is one good example of 2x2 prioritization, which speaks about on the y-axis like good vision fit, and then the poor vision fit. If you're trying to build something which is kind of good vision fit, right, which is very good, you need to do it, and it's kind of sustainable also. So this 2x2 prioritization is between the vision and the sustainability, which means it's very much important. So it's going to give double-edged kind of sword, good vision plus sustainable, you'll be able to make money. So then you need to do it. And the less sustainable and the poor vision, right, if they are the kind of situation, if you are one thing which you are planning to do is kind of less sustainable and not connecting with the vision, then you may not need to do it, you need to avoid it, you need to throw it out. So prioritization is a good, very good technique, especially 2x2. It's going to help you a lot. And again, the value proposition canvas and the Porter's five forces. Porter's five forces is very much important when you are looking to do competition analysis. Okay, so you need to look at bargaining power of buyers, bargaining suppliers in that context, and then the threats of substitute products and services that is available, or threat of new entrants. So all these are different dimensions, in the Porter's five forces competition analysis. That's going to help you to think through that. Okay, so this is about the different tools and techniques that is available for you to create product strategy. So this is another good canvas for looking at product strategy. So it connects all the pieces that we have discussed: the vision, the challenges that you are looking at, the diagnosis part of it, and what is the approach that you are going to take. So all those going to be kind of covered here. So here it speaks about Uber scenario. So about Uber cabs services, right? So the vision for Uber was all about, in 10 years, Uber will be the cheaper alternative to owning a car or taking public transportation. So that was the vision, that Uber had. But the challenge, for them, right, when they had a input collection exercise, we need to reduce wait time in key cities to less than 5 minutes. So this was the doing the discovery exercises with the users and the the ecosystem that they were playing with. So this is very much important. So less than 5 minutes, that's a data, right? So that's the kind of challenge they had. So what is the current state of it? Current state is all about on average one driver for every 300 people in those cities. So this was the current scenario. So how you can change it? If you are able to change it like one driver for every 50 people, then you will be able to achieve your vision. So you are connecting all the dots and to the vision, and you will be able to find ways right now how you can um, create the strategy. Okay, so this is one good simple canvas. Probably you can even browse through and see this is available as a template also. Okay, so one last thing about, I think so far we discussed about how do we create strategy, the different components of strategy, the factors that needs to be considered while creating a strategy, and different tools, canvases that is available that can be leveraged for creating a strategy. So this is all we saw about it, and the last part of it is about some examples about pivot examples. Okay, so these guys have done something really interesting when it comes to pivoting their business model, right? So you all know about Netflix. So Netflix is at least was doing in 1990s or 2000 somewhere. They were kind of renting DVDs through mails. Okay, that's the kind of product or the business model that they had. Okay, and again with respect to the context and the environment they were playing with. So there were no the major internet bandwidth available. So they were kind of leveraging whatever the best they can do it. So they were kind of playing it. But today they were pivoting from that strategy to the new strategy called internet streaming, leveraging the technology. So today we have internet technology where the streaming can happen as fast as possible, and that is very good thing. As a company they were leveraging it time to time. Instead just staying back in the legacy world, they were moving out and looking at the new technologies to leverage. So internet streaming is one thing that they have done good, and also looking at their users, right? So when it comes to internet streaming, so the original content is kind of differentiation for them. All right, so when everyone was kind of displaying the movies that was already there, but Netflix was bringing the concept of original content. Okay, so that was interesting, and the kind of differentiation for Netflix. This is at least 5 6 years back. They were kind of pivoting it, and now they are kind of leading the market also, and they recently entered into Indian market also. I think that's going good. So compared, I mean, the next thing is about Airbnb. Airbnb is in talk in recent times. um, so you all know that Airbnb is a kind of marketplace to book places to stay, right? So that was the kind of new way of booking or leveraging the existing resources. That product strategy or the business strategy also is really good, which means there are so many people who have houses where they can make money out of it, and people also look for cheaper alternatives to those luxury hotels and things like that. They were kind of connecting. So Airbnb was making very good in that space. But with the COVID situation, things got changed. So there is no tourism, there are no travelers, and obviously the business is completely down. But still they were leveraging the product, right? So they are kind of creating the online experiences today. So online experiences are like you can look at some cuisine which is happening in Thailand from India. Okay, you will be still able to experience the Thailand cuisine, the environments and things like Hello. Okay, sorry guys, I think network got disconnected. So I was speaking about Airbnb sometime back. So another Indian context is about Zip. I don't know whether you heard about Zip. Zip is the electric bike taxi, provider in Bangalore and I think in Gurgaon and all these spaces. Okay, so that was their business model, or that was their product. That they were kind of selling it. Um, but now with this current situation they are kind of shifting to a new space. So they already have the resources like the bike taxes. So they are leveraging it, and they are kind of moving to, okay, how they can use it for home delivery. So that is the need for an hour, right? So we need groceries, medicines, and things like that at our home at this point. So Zip is kind of leveraging their product, okay, moving towards the new scenarios. So these are the new routes people are taking it. So there are interesting thought processes are coming up with different products that they have. Okay, so we have come to an end with this product strategy. So kindly go ahead with any questions. So I think you should be able to chat and share your questions. So I will be able to answer back. Guys, any questions?
I guess we can have a questions and poll right now with the audience so they can go through the poll and can answer on the same.
Yeah.
Sure. So, people, we will conduct this poll. You can uh, vote for the same. So, I'll run the poll. So, here is our first question. So, Senthil, do you want to say anything on this?
Yeah, I think that's kind of dynamic, and it's, I think many people have really found, I mean, right. So product manager is the kind of uh, responsible or accountable person for creating product strategy. We spoke about it in
Right.
one of the
So,
slides.
yeah. So we can see 89% people have vote same, and it's quite right one.
Yeah.
Okay, let's go ahead with another question. Here is another question. Elements of product strategy. So we can see around 77%, 78% people have voted as product features, and it's changing. Do you want to say anything, Senthil, on this?
Yeah, right. So I think it's a bit changing. The trend is changing, but
Yes.
the customer value is the right one, or comparatively, if it look at it, right? So product features, obviously, it is not. It's because product features is way beyond that. So you will not be discussing about what product feature you will be having it in a product strategy, right? So you will be discussing about what customer value you will be creating when you really when you discuss product strategy. So that's comparatively, right? Technology is also another important thing, but still, comparatively, customer value is the right one.
Great. So we can see 35% people have given the right answer, and where the 87% was had given vote for product feature, it came to 50%. Okay, so people have switched their answer in the okay, so let's go ahead with the third question, which is the last one. Okay, so we can see people have already given vote for the same. Let's display the answer. Yeah, Senthil, do you want to say anything on this?
Okay, so once again, this has gone wrong somewhere because the essential component for delivering value is product pricing, but that is not the essential component. Um, so the answer is false actually for this.
Okay, so as 83% people have given the wrong answer, so would you like to correct them why they went wrong and what the perception they had so they vote this?
So this is all about delivering value, right? So when you
Mm-hmm.
deliver value, you are looking at what is the customer's job is kind of resolved, or what customers are really looking for, right? So product pricing is kind of not a direct component, but it's a kind of far beyond when we look at delivering value. So from that context, it is not an essential component. Probably you can look at the essential as a word. So product delivering value is all about what customer wanted or what is the customer's pain.
Great. Okay. So I believe everyone must understood what are the actual components are there and what is making the value while delivering the product. So yes, we are done with our poll. Okay. So Senthil,
Any
do
other
you want to say
questions?
anything?
Yeah. Yeah. So thanks for joining, this webinar. So you can reach out to me where I can help you, if you want to create any product strategy or any sort of help required. So I should be able to jump in and see if I can help you in any way. Okay. Thanks everyone for joining. Thanks for the opportunity. Now we start.
Thank you so much, Senthil. Thanks a lot for joining us on this webinar. The topic was quite helpful, I would say, because this is very rare topic where people can have the interaction and can get the actual idea what is the actual strategies get used in products manage and product strategy, and you discuss a number of strategies with us, different components you discuss with the audience. Thanks a lot for being a speaker today, and I would like to thank all our participants who have joined us for this webinar. If you could not hear some of the part, you can simply drop me mail at pallavi@novelvista, and we would like to have your participation for our upcoming webinars, and looking forward to see you as our uh, one of the most who is attending all these webinars, and we will be sharing this recording with our L&D team as well, so you can connect with them as well to get the more updates on the same. Thank you so much, everyone. Thanks a lot for joining.
Thank you, Pallavi.
Thank you.